She's probably best known as Nelson Mandela's widow, but there's a lot more to Graça Machel than just being the former First Lady of South Africa. She was an active member of the Frelimo Liberation Group that helped end nearly 500 years of Portuguese colonial rule in her home country of Mozambique. Her first husband, Samora Machel, was the country's first independent president, and as Minister of Culture and Education, Graça Machel helped Mozambique achieve one of the highest literacy rates in all of Africa. After politics, she began her humanitarian work that brought her many accolades, including the UN's Nansen Medal and a damehood bestowed on her by Queen Elizabeth II. In 2007, she co-founded the Elders with her then-husband Nelson Mandela.
The Elders can become a fiercely independent and robust force for good.
The organisation still exists today to promote peace and human rights. And 10 years ago, she founded the Graça Machel Trust to focus on children's health, nutrition and education and women's economic empowerment. I spoke to her in her home in Mozambique, where she's been throughout the coronavirus pandemic. Graça, you, along with others, have written a call to action on the COVID-19 crisis, the massive global inequalities it has unearthed, especially for women and girls. Why did you choose to write this open letter?
You know, we were very happy around the last year that women and children were making progress in terms of achieving some of their rights, and we were hopeful that the Sustainable Development Goals are being really the engine for us to hope that by 2030, many of those rights will be materialized. But just in a few months, we were taken back. Some are saying something like a decade of the progress we have made. The gains have been eroded. So my major concern for this call, it was to bring the face and the voice of women at the center of the response, to say no success can be achieved if we don't take into account the needs, the aspirations of these groups, but more importantly, if they are not sitting at the center of redesigning, re-engineering what kind of societies we have to build together post-COVID.
And how do you think the global leaders have responded to the pandemic crisis so far?
I think the reason why it's not only me, I mean, the call for action, it is exactly because we realized that the response was inadequate. And I have to say it is still inadequate. It's not at the extension, the depth of what the crisis have taken us to. So you hear about some amount of money being put together for development, but they don't focus on the faces and the needs of the most vulnerable people in developing countries, for instance. And of course, when I insist on women and children, it's because they become the majority of our people here. And if they are not at the center of the response, then whatever is done by government, by private sector, by development partner, it will be falling short of the needs to the extent and the magnitude of the crisis we are facing.